old show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2025 Acura Integra. $289 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines. #1 in the USA.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2025 Acura RDX. $399 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines. #1 in the USA.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
The lost city of Atlantis reveals its secrets at Toyota of Hollywood. Get legendary deals on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a 2024 Corolla. Not $24,000, $20,988. Unlock the wonders of 0% financing for 5 full years, 0 down. Rediscover Atlantis at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices. Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2024 Acura ZDX, $299 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Hey, welcome aboard. Time to rock and roll. It is a Tuesday. I hope you guys are doing well. Damn, that light is bright. Oh, loaded. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about. How you doing, Alarmo? You doing good? All right. Alarmo's doing good. Sean is doing good, although he's a little pissed because he saw pictures of a Randy's Donuts box and, no fritters. So, he doesn't have a fritter right now. So, can somebody get a Randy's Donuts fritter, shipped to us right away for my man Sean, because he's hurting right now. I just want you to know. He's missing those Randy Donuts fritters. The apple fritters are, his thing, his jam, as they say. So you doing all right, Sean? You doing all right? You're hanging in there without that fritter? Huh?
Yeah, I'm doing better now.
Right.
Although when CM Punk opened up the whole box and it was all glazed donuts, I wasn't happy. But, you live and learn, and they'll live and learn. They'll learn the apple fritters. That's where the money is.
A glazed Randy's donut is,
It's all right, but, it's no apple fritter. Apple fritter.
Absolutely delicious.
Let me tell you something. You know how much it would cost to ship one of those apple fritters?
I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, but it's probably going to be
the size of them.
$10.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Just the size, getting it in a box and stuff would be just.
But you got to admit, living here, and you know what it tastes like, that one time it'll be worth it for you. That
100%. 100%. I would fly to LA if there was a way where I could fly there, grab the donut, and just fly back.
Just fly back.
Yeah.
That's it.
I would do it.
Well, actually, you got to grab a couple because you need a couple extra on the way back.
Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, you're right. You're right. I'd probably grab a box of apple fritters just for the trip, and then have a couple when I get back too, because I don't want to just land and be like, damn, I should have got more.
Exactly. That's it. That's what's going to happen with Bitcoin. I should have gotten more. I should have gotten more. I should have gotten more. You know, that's it. It's the same thing. Same thing. Fritters, Bitcoin. It's the same thing. You got to get as much as you can while you can is what it's all about. We got a loaded day today, not just show day. All kinds of shit we're doing today. Ira and Manny will join us today here on this part of the show. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do a Crypto Bro show, episode 31, I believe. And then in the afternoon, David Furones will be joining me, and we're going to be doing another show where we will be recapping the press conference from Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer. They're both going to talk at noon. So what we'll do is I was going to have what's it called, David on now, and I told them why. You know, nothing's really gone on that you can really enlighten me on. So let's wait for the press conference, and you know, you could get the press conference, and we could go over the press conference and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll talk to him again on Friday. So I thought it would be a lot more useful to do that interview later in the afternoon, post press conference, where he's able to, you know, gather whatever information while he's there at the facility and those kind of things. And then we can talk to him. So all kinds of content today on the platform. And we'll be going live all throughout. So we'll be going live with the Crypto Bro show in a little while, and then later on in the afternoon we'll go live again, David Furones and myself, and we'll go over that press conference. I'll watch it from my end. He'll be there, so we'll go through it after, and then obviously we got plenty to talk about here today on the show. As you saw the headline, I have nuggets for you. So we will talk a little bit about what I think the Dolphins are going to do and how they're going to approach a very important position on this team. So we'll have a little fun with that. We'll take your comments, as always, your questions, your concerns, all those kind of things. Heat last night lost, and it wasn't a bad game. I mean, it sucked that they had the 17-point lead and pissed it away. You know what I'm saying? But they actually played better than I expected them to play from the get-go. And I was kind of surprised they were kind of in control of that game. And then it was kind of depressing that they ended up losing, and they had to do it in double overtime. Jesus Christ, guys. Couldn't you just win it in regulation and not lose in double overtime? And, you know, that's less sleep for me. So we've got the Heat. Ira will join us in a couple of minutes. So we'll talk to Ira. Manny Navaro will join us at 11. So we've got a absolutely loaded program. Remember, there are many ways besides calling R&M Contractors, Ray and Mike, who do phenomenal work. So if you need it for your home, your condo, your business, please call Ray and Mike at 305-345-3649. You can call and reach out to our amazing sponsors, or you can also make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can also make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, which we love that. And you also can make donations through PayPal, We have the QR code there for PayPal. You can use that too. Ho Yoon, thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. Very kind of you. Appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very nice. Let's see what we got. What do we got? Who's number one? Steven Gonzalez is in. Let's see what else. One-Eyed Jack. Jay Gelfin is in the house. He forgot the hot sauce to finish the game. Yeah. Well, Jimmy's already been a Cancer. Jay, that's where he's been a Cancer for 2 years. I'm sorry, 2 years plus. Once you stop playing in the regular season, you are a Cancer. That's all. You just slid it, and you all just slipped it under the rug and let it slide. Not me. I've been slamming that shit for 2 years now, and I didn't even want him on the team the last 2 years. 2+ years, by the way. 2+ whatever this is. 30-something games. So he's been a Cancer already. You know, the problem, Jay, is you're describing it the wrong way. Jimmy has been a Cancer, and now it's a Cancer that has spread. And that's, so too late already, dude. The disease is out. The virus is out. So the problem is now trying to get rid of it. That's kind of the way what they're doing right now is what they did with the last virus we had. They're kind of trying to water it down right now. That's what they're trying to do, because it's really hard to get rid of. Can't get rid of, Jovid. Okay, we'll throw a J instead of a C on it. Okay, it's hard to get rid of Jovid. Jovid is tough. You can take 1 shot and 2 shots and 3 shots, and at this point, the virus has spread around so much. The Heat staff is all over the place trying to get rid of it. So it's just not that easy anymore. Because now, it's not sexy anymore. People don't want it. They're not lined up to unload the virus from you. So that Cancer spread already, dude. What the Heat have to do, they have to eliminate it. But unfortunately, they waited too long, and now they're in a really difficult position because it's kind of like and we're going to talk to Ira now, and he'll fill us in. But to me, it seems like they're in a position where they don't have the leverage that they would necessarily like. Teams are not going to necessarily offer their best because they feel like the Heat is desperate to get rid of him because he's a Cancer. And so then it's kind of one of those things, and it's a waiting game. And so you got to hope somebody becomes desperate, gets an injury or something that then they're willing to really give you something, because if not, the Heat has to stay status quo, deal with the Cancer, and wait till the end of the year and see if the Cancer says, well, I'm opting out on my own. And then you're free at least that way. But you can't compound the mistake by making another mistake and making a bad trade. All right, let's find out more with our Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with the one and only Ira Winderman.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman. Exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
Howdy, Ira. Good morning, sir. You got some sleep?
I did not. I mean,
Jesus.
We're all the same. When you have a 10 or 10:30 game, you go no overtime. When you have a 10 or 10:30 game, you say no double overtime. When you have a 10 or 10:30 game, you say no double overtime and certainly not a loss.
Oh,
And
my God.
17 points up with 10 minutes to go. So you can either say you need Jimmy's closing ability, or you could say the mental mush of this season has exacted a toll, that we're not even at midseason right now. Still have a week to go for that. And this team just looks lost.
Yeah, and when I'm watching the game, I think it reminds me of the blood clot years. And I think that, and follow me on this, it's almost like every time he had a setback or Bosch had to leave again or whatever, he had to kind of recalibrate the team and figure out who's who and what's what and who's going to step up when and all that kind of stuff. And now that you have found out that it's going to be more off Jimmy Butler now, it's almost like this team has to kind of really evolve within its own and figure out who's who and what's what. Like, I thought Jaquez started to provide a little bit of that poor man Jimmy Butler stuff that you need last night. I thought he did a really good job of that overall, but you've got to get more people that are more aggressive offensively, including Bam Adebayo and stuff like that. But I don't even know if that's ever going to happen, obviously. And so it's almost like Spo has to kind of, I don't know, like reset the team now in a way and kind of figure out what's what from here on out. Life without Butler, because you always wait for Butler to come back and say, okay, the man is back. Okay, it's the ball's in his court. He's the guy. Okay, moving forward, that's not going to be the case. So you're going to have to try to figure out, guys are going to have to start saying, it's my team now. I want to take the lead. I want to be the dog. I want to be the guy. I want this moment. That's the kind of stuff that I think needs to develop over the next year.
Except here's the thing, and in the moment, you could say over the next year, but in the moment, this is like when Tua went out. You devise one system for the season. We're going to do this. Jimmy's going to have gravity, so Tyler's not going to get constantly double and triple teamed. You go into that. Hey, unlike football, where every game means more, it's an 82-game season. If Jimmy misses a normal amount of season, 7, 10 games, okay, we'll deal with it. Even if he has 7 to 10 losses, whatever. But if you have a game plan for Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, and Bam Adebayo, and then one guy misses the first third of the season, a third of the season in the first 30 games, and then gets himself suspended for another 7, you're not going to have the continuity you want. No. So no matter what you say, and we've talked about this a bunch in our Accurate Pembroke Pines reports, when you talk about what Tyler's developed into, a reliable option when he plays with 2 other quality players, and you take one quality player out, we saw what happened last night. You get double teamed, you get triple teamed, you can't be yourself. So Jimmy Butler has not only screwed the Heat as a team, he's sort of screwing individual guys also with his behavior. You can't be the Miami Heat you want to be when one of your major cogs is missing or has mentally and physically checked out. So, I mean, it's the pull the pin, toss the grenade. Now we're seeing what's happening, and the Heat only have so much recourse.
Yeah, there's no doubt everything you're saying is accurate. But on the flip side of that, I look at it this way. I also say, hey, guess what? We've cut the umbilical cord. We've taken off the training wheels. Guess what, Tyler? This is what stars are like. They get attention. Let's go. This is part of your maturity now, dog. You can score. They know you can score. Now they're going to double and triple team your ass. Well, now you've got to learn to be even more crafty and see if you can take your game to the next level. Bam Adebayo, you've had Big O calling you a super role player forever because you refuse to be a star. Well, here you go, bro. There's no other star now. You don't have to defer to Wade. You don't have to defer to Butler. You got any balls? Let's go. Pick it up.
You know what?
Jovic, whatever it is, all these young guys, the stage is yours now. Somebody take the bull by the horns, as they say. So that, to me, that's what I like about this now. We're going to find out who's a fucking dog and who's not. And I think that's really good for the next year, that you don't have to Don't depend on Jimmy. Let's find out who's got dog in them from here on out. So at the end of the year, if you do have the cap space, if you do have more flexibility, you'll have a better sense in what direction to go in.
Except, Big O, you can't get the read or no. And you can say, well, a superstar should be able to work around it, that the Michaels and the guys have always been double teamed. But we're seeing a really good example, and we'll see tonight when he play the Warriors tonight at 10 o'clock at Chase Center. When Steph Curry has gotten less help, the Warriors are not the same team. He's not the same player. They took a risk getting rid of Klay Thompson. They've gone in the crapper. The years Klay sat out, had the injury, had the Achilles, Steph couldn't be the same player. In this league, you still need quality teammates for you to be your best also. So you build your team. You decide who you are and how you're going to play. That's what the Heat did with Jimmy Butler. So for as much as Orlando Alzagaria sat here for years and saying they never should have re-upped with Jimmy Butler, they never should have trusted him, genie out of the bottle, the horses left the barn, come up with other cliches when I'm done here today. You can't undo what you've done. You've got to work with what you have now. So I'm not so sure if Jimmy Butler doesn't get back or a replacement player doesn't come in, that Tyler Hero ever we can get a read on. Look, I think you agree, Big O. I know you were talking about trading Tyler. I'm sure we'll get into that. But Tyler Hero at his best, I think could be a number 2. Not a number 1, but a number 2. I think he has the skill set for that, to be the supporting guy for a leading man. But until you get that leading man in there, you can't see what it would look like as a number 2. Because every night now, this guy has to score 30 points for your team to have a chance to win against a quality opponent. So you are retarding the entire process now with this cockamamie 7-game suspension, with this waiting game on Jimmy, with these revelations are, maybe we'll take Jimmy back because Jimmy's going to totally change and be a completely different person and everything is going to be perfect. You know, you can get all your gifs out here of everything is fine. What are you looking at? Nothing is wrong. No, that's not going to change. An organization of structure and quality, and I hate to say it, I'm going to use a small c, and culture knows when there's a problem and knows when it's time to move on. This team, if you're going to keep spinning your wheels, it's kind of disheartening and maybe almost a degree embarrassing. Because, look, it's not about if the player wins or not, Big O. It's about what's best for your organization to move it forward. Quicksand right now. This team is in quicksand.
I know, but okay, you made the mistake. You signed him. You're stuck with him now. You want to unload him, but you can't unload him for a bad package. And I think that's why this whole vibe has been thrown out to all of you guys. And that's why you've all written this about, well, you know, Jimmy could come back and all that kind of stuff. And why? They don't have any offers. They don't have anything that's sexy.
See, I think they're looking for too much. I think personally, if they can get expiring contracts, maybe even 1 year down the road when Duncan and Terry are off the books, and they can regain some draft capital, I just posted a story about that, yes, you would take the L. You would take a loss on the trade. But you can't worry about perceptions of winning and losing transactions. You have to just look at, if we make this move, if we clear the cap space, if we add draft assets, if Jimmy freaking Buckets goes on to win a championship somewhere else, so be it. That's not your concern. Your concern is, how can we make the Miami Heat better in 24-25, in 25-26, and certainly by 26-27. So what I'm saying is this: take the L. Stop with the foolish pride. Stop with the I'm Pat Riley and I'm the Don. I'm King Riley or whatever. Stop with the whole we don't want to look bad. Who gives a rat's ass if you look bad in the transactions column on the internet? What you care about is, okay, really not a very good season for the Heat this year. Wash our hands of it, admit we lost, take the W, and move on. Or you could be Stephen Ross and saying, Chris Greer, he'll get it right. That wackadoodle Mike McDaniel, he'll get it right. It's the same thing. It's that you don't want to acknowledge with the Dolphins, we made a mistake with our personnel chief. We made a mistake with our out there coach, but we're going to make this right. Sometimes, Big O, you simply have to move on. You take the small L so it doesn't put an L over an entire season. The Heat have that opportunity right now. Yes, they will get ripped. They will get mocked. They will get ridiculed when they take a 2 years ago All-NBA second-team player and give him away for a bag of chips. So you deal with that. It happens. You get mocked for that, and then you move on.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Do you know that if they're offering bad contracts on the way back, like a Beal or something like that?
Not taking that.
Okay, I know they're not taking that. Okay,
I guarantee you, the Miami Heat can get contracts that will expire no later than Terry Rozier and Duncan Robinson after next season. Sorry, we'll have to wait another year and restock some of their draft capital. They can do that. But this notion of the Heat want a quality player in return, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Jimmy Butler last night on Instagram posting his workout with Coach O and Remy, his personal assistant, and he's out there without any shoes on. And he's out there really, I think he could wind up getting a fungus, but that's another story for another day. Like enough already. God bless you, Jimmy Butler. I personally believe I'm still thanking Jimmy Butler out the door. I know he's a quirky personality. I know he sabotaged this season. But you know what? For the previous 5 seasons, it was a hell of a ride. God bless you. Good luck. Big O and I are going to get you a lovely flower arrangement, and we'll just move forward with that. Take the L, move forward. Stop with this foolish personal pride.
So Jimmy Butler is a fungus among us.
Well, I just think if you're working out in the weight room, put on some damn shoes or socks, but that's just me. But you know what? Jimmy marches to the beat of his own drummer. He did in Chicago. He did in Minnesota. He did in Philadelphia. You knew that you were getting, I don't mean this in a totally negative way, a ticking time bomb. You knew you were getting that. With Jimmy, it's the quirks. With Tua, it's the injuries and the concussions. But in both places, you have a potentially expiring addition, someone who can help your team. And at a certain point, you have to say, you know what? We can't go through another season where Tua is going to give us maybe 9 or 10 games. We can't go through another season where Jimmy's going to miss a quarter to a third of the season. It was a good run. Thank you for your service. And now we move on.
Okay. So where's he going? What's the possibility? Where can they ship him for those expiring contracts next season?
This is where Andy Ellisberg has to do Andy Ellisberg. But you would agree with me, I'm sure, in this Big O. If you give Andy this incredible, beautiful mind math equation that he has to figure out, he has always figured it out. People, the Miami Heat got Jimmy Butler during 2019 free agency without a single stinking dollar of salary cap money. He got it done. He got the big 3 all together to give back enough money for a supporting cast to go to 4 NBA Finals and 2 championships. We know the Suns are interested. We know the Warriors are interested. We know the Rockets could be interested. And we know, Big O, it's going to take at least a 3-team trade, maybe a 4-team trade. But there are so many distressed properties out there. There are teams with cap space that might want to use it. Detroit, Charlotte, Utah, with trade exceptions. We know there are players with 1 or 2 years left on their contract. Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr., West Palm Beach's favorite John Collins, Colin Sexton. There are players out there in this pool of what can happen. Lock Andy Ellisberg in a room, tell him you can't come out or get any water or refreshment until you come up with a deal. I guarantee you, he will go into a supercomputer, come out with 5 permutations for Pat Riley, Nick Harrison, and Mickey Harrison, and saying, we can do this, 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 and this. And at that point, those leaders can't say, let's do nothing. Come on down, Jimmy Buckets, because this won't happen again, because it will.
Oh, of course it will. So he's going to come back after the 7 games. But what's he coming back to?
I don't think he'll be here. I don't think he'll necessarily be here after the 7 games. My thought is 7 games, they said, was because it was a 6-game road trip. Didn't want to bring him back, re-involve him on the road. You don't have enough practices. That's convenient. They still have over a week. They still have really 10 days still to get something done. I think that's what they have to do. I got to tell you, if I'm Bam Adebayo, you can call him super role player. If I'm Tyler Hero, you can call him a number 2, not a number 1. But I'm out there busting my ass for 50 minutes a game in a double overtime game and doing everything I can physically with my body and going through a week of this. And then the Heat say, yeah, now guys, make it work with this guy again. We screwed you out of competitiveness, top level competitiveness for 7 games. What the hell are you doing? What are you doing to these guys? You know what? Jimmy Butler's being punished with a loss of salary, of which he probably will get every dollar back.
We'll get that
But
back.
Bam Adebayo is being punished. But Terry Rozier and Tyler Hero and Jaime Jaquez are being punished by a team that can't make up its damn mind. Either you're in with Jimmy and the Jimmy coaster and all the hair and all the crap, or you're out. But this middle game, what are you doing?
But Ira, you make it sound like this is something new. They've been
breaking point, Big O. Breaking point. What I'm saying
is, my point is, Pat Riley has been constantly screwing up for the last since LeBron left, dude. From the Whiteside bullshit to all the way down to this.
And at some point they've survived that. And they moved Hassan Whiteside for Jimmy Butler. They moved Hassan Whiteside for Jimmy Butler. They got Goran Dragic. They remained competitive. It's just a breaking point issue, Big O. We've raised children. At a certain point, you say, I'll let this go. I'll let that go. I'll let that go. Breaking point. You crossed the line. When you cross the line in a situation, there's a point of no return. Who the hell thought, after that harshly worded statement last Friday, there was a chance in hell that Jimmy Butler was going to be back with this team? And if you were going to issue that harsh statement, you know what? It's like when we tell our kids, if you do that, there's going to be consequences. And then they do that, and there are no consequences.
It's Mike McDaniel. It's Mike McDaniel. That's Mike McDaniel. There's no.
They're going to do it again. So I just don't understand. If you're going to issue the ultimatum and you're going to play strongman and you're going to be Il Duce, I get all of that. But then you can't say, nah, it's okay. Let's hug it out. You can't
But it's hard. But it's hard. The way you're phrasing it. Okay, so you got to get rid of them by the time you come back from that West Coast thing, and then at the same time, you want a deal that will be comfortable for them, that contracts will expire next season, and draft capital.
Doable. Doable. Highly doable.
I almost feel like right now it's such a cold business that I think NBA teams are offering them dog shit right now because they want to see if they fold in that next week, before the suspension is.
And they're taking pennies on the dollar anyway, but here's the point. In the real world, if you get someone's resume and you go through the resume and you keep seeing the word, pardon the language, asshole, 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 in the real world, you go, next. You go to LinkedIn, you get someone else. But in the NBA, Kyrie Irving can offer anti-Semitic comments, sit out games during COVID, and then go to a party and still wind up a hero in Dallas. James Harden can put on a fat suit and get his way out of Houston, can refuse to contribute in Brooklyn, can say, I don't want to be here anymore in Philadelphia. They love the guy with the Clippers. He's their leading man now while Kawhi sat out the first third of the season. James Harden's almost a hero. This is the only business where you can perennially be an a-hole and yet there's still someone willing to wrap their arms around you and hug you. And it'll happen with Jimmy Butler. And you will see, we will read the stories, we will talk about it in our upcoming Accurate Pembroke Pines reports, how Steve Kerr said he loves the warrior mentality of Jimmy Butler, how Kevin Durant said, this is the kind of teammate I've always wanted. It's going to happen. You can't let that matter. Your only responsibility, your fiduciary responsibility is to the Miami Heat, that they can get out of this and they can get better.
Okay, you say that. Now, I heard this when he got here. People told me, oh, no, Jimmy will be able to recruit another star. Well, Jimmy wasn't able to recruit another star.
He did.
And Miami couldn't figure out another star. It was Lowry. That was like their star.
It was. But it was, you had an 80, you gave someone a big sack of money, $85 million, and you said, who do you want? And he said, Kyle Lowry. And you signed off on it, and you said, look, most of these superstar situations, you really only get one bite at the apple. You do. I know 5 years sounds like a long time. You have to save the cap space. You have to get rid of Deion Waiters. And you have to get rid of James Johnson. Then you have to let Iguodala move on and Crowder. And you create that package. So your criticism just now, Big O, was on Pat Riley not making the right moves. On the Heat front, screwing up. In that case, they did. They'll tell you they did. They acceded to Jimmy Butler. They try to appease Jimmy Butler. But at that time, they said to themselves in that offseason, this is the right deal for us. And then they compounded it by making another bad deal on top of it. And instead of allowing it to expire, they did the Terry Rozier deal and they gave up another first-round pick. You can't keep compounding your mistakes. You can't go ahead and give Tua the extension. You can't come back and say Tua's the guy. You can't come back without a quality NBA starting level backup quarterback. The Dolphins do, and the Heat do, and look where we are today.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt that these decisions are the reasons why they're here. All right, give me the two teams you think he might end up on.
I still think he winds up with Phoenix in some scenario. The fact that Bradley Beal was benched and playing off the bench, that's a nice way to say we know you have a no-trade clause, but we still think we can ease things out of there. I think Steve Kerr has a strong enough personality, and the Golden State Warriors have enough assets and in a win-now mode. I think that would work for Jimmy Butler also. My outside shot, because they are doing anything and everything for LeBron, would be the Lakers. These teams all have pieces. They all have contracts. I'm not saying what's coming back from those teams is coming to the Heat. I'm saying there's going to be a whole circle here of other teams involved. So Jimmy will go to Team X, but the Heat will get players from Team Y. Andy Ellisburg can get this done. He can push this boulder over the hill.
All right. That's a huge boulder to push over. But then again, we never thought that they would unload the Brian Grant and Eddie Jones contracts back in the day.
Waiters or James Johnson or Hassan Whiteside. So you always find a way, if you're willing to be creative and accept you're not going to get a slam dunk victory, but you need to move forward.
Yeah, they usually find a way to dump it. It's just in this case, it's interesting to see how it ends up. So what do you think happens with the Tyler Hero thing? Because my deal is, let him build up value one more month, and this is the peak, baby. You got to get out of the market at the right time.
Yeah, I disagree with you for weeks, and I will, because you can't blow it up and start from nothing. Big O, here's what matters more. And the good thing is we do our accurate Pembroke Pines report year-round. Tyler Hero this summer will be eligible for an extension. To me, that's the moment of truth. I don't mind Tyler Hero at $30 million in today's economy. Tyler Hero at $60 million? You and I are going to have to sit down and talk. That's the question.
Wait a minute, but that's why you do it now, baby, so you can avoid that. If you wait to that moment, teams know you're facing that, and now you lose leverage.
You got to build around someone. You can't go scorched earth. I disagree.
You got to do it now.
You can't go scorched earth.
That a team needs an extra score. They're desperate. They want to make a run. They'll trade you, whatever. And that's when you get.
You know what? I'm gonna leave you with this. If you go read the story I just posted at the Sun Sentinel, how the Heat cannot go to the lottery this season because it would be the worst case scenario. They can't because of their situation with the draft. If they bottom out this year, they will give up 2 unprotected first-round picks 2 years from now and 4 years from now. Read the story at sunsentinel.com. Then next week.
I get that, but you're not doing what's best for you now.
You are now. You are by protecting the season and Tyler protecting your picks. We can disagree.
Is it going to end up being the number 1 overall pick? Come on.
It could. But it could.
And it could end up being the number 12 pick, like it probably will be, and it's not a big deal, dude. I mean, I don't know, man.
We'll talk. We'll kibitz.
All right, what do you got going on in the Sentinel? So folks,
I got that story going on, exactly what I said about how the Heat's draft, they really screwed up with the Terry Rozier deal. I'll explain why. You can go to sunsentinel.com right now. We'll have coverage of tonight's Warriors game, of course, from Golden State. And then I just wrote about how in my Ask Ira today, Jimmy Butler's always been a conundrum. So all of a sudden, don't be shocked, hey, this guy's a problem. No, this is who he is, this is who he was, and this is who he will be.
Ira Heat Beat on Twitter, and make sure you subscribe at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Ira, as always, thank you. Have a terrific week and safe travels.
Catch you next week. Thank you, Big O.
You got it. Accurate Pembroke Pines. They got it going on. 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75, and Pines will be there on Friday, broadcasting live at 10 a.m. So come on out and join us. We'll have some fun, get electrified. The ZDX is in town, baby. And you could get right now the 2024 model. Still have some 2024 models, $449 a month right now. The lease, 0.9% financing for 72 months. The Integra, you can get it for $339 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. The RDX, it's in stock, ready for immediate delivery, $399 a month. Go see Larry Schlossberg and Pat Nasto, Tony Stampone. And what you're going to love about going over to Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines is the selection. You can go to some of these dealerships, and they've got a few cars here or there. No, this lot is overflowing. So you can pick the car you want, the model you want, the style you want. But more importantly, maybe the color you want and the price you want at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig Zinn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All right. Don't forget Sloman's Home Shield. Proud sponsors of our show. There he is, Alarmo, locked and loaded and ready to go. And right now, listen, you need to protect your home. And Sloman's understands the importance of security. That's why they're offering a free home security system with free professional installation. When you use their low-cost central station monitoring, the free system includes the panel, the keyboard, up to 10 door contacts, window decals, lawn sign, professional installation, lifetime service, communication device, and backup battery. You're going to love it. You're going to love the service. You're going to love how it makes your life so much easier. That doorbell camera, I mean, you see everything coming, man. There's a delivery. Tell them to leave it there. Food. Tell them to leave it there. Tell them to wait a minute. Or if they're trying to sell you something, you don't even have to answer the door. You stay sitting in your living room saying, yeah, they can ring the doorbell. Go ahead. Knock yourselves out. Thanks to Sloman's, I know exactly what's going on. And when you're away from the home, you can know anything and everything that's going on at your house. I also have cameras inside my house because I have 4 dogs. I have these 2 big mofos that are like, patrolling the house. So I got to make sure they're not getting in trouble. You know what I mean? So I've got cameras inside the house. But you don't have to. You can do it too if you want to or not. But if you have dogs like I do, you probably will do the same thing. Folks, I'm telling you right now, take advantage. You get the keypad, up to 10 door contacts, window decals, lawn sign, professional installation, lifetime service, communication device, and backup battery. And they offer top-of-the-line home security systems that are designed to detect intruders, alert the authorities, and give you real-time updates right to your smartphone. You're going to love it. 1-800-ALARM-ME. We're in like 14 different states, so they could be in your state. So check it out, 1-800-ALARM-ME. Speaking of alarm, how about what's going on right now, baby? Yeah, a little dippy dip. 97.7. Woo! We're at 101. I want to know who sells right now. That's what I want to know. God, you've got to be stupid to be selling. Holy shit, you got to be one dumbass mofo to be selling right now. Man. Anyway, but good opportunity to take advantage. Brandon Ingram, Horn Dog. Yes, all the names are out there. Brandon Ingram and Bradley Beal, and everybody's throwing out all the different kinds of names. We'll see what ends up happening, dude. I don't know what ends up happening. But I think, and I don't have any special insight on this, but I think teams are going to be, kind of dicks about this, and they're not really going to offer you anything sexy because they want to push you to the brink and see what happens. Rand Carthen is out as Titans general manager per sources. Carton spent 2 years in Tennessee with 2 different head coaches and still has 4 years remaining on his contract. Yeah, hard to give somebody time and anyway, but whatever it is, what it is. That's this business. Leon Fresco, thank you for the love on the super chat. Oh, I missed that. I'm sorry. Please ask Ira if there's any point to keeping Bam or should be moved. Every time he takes a shot at the end of the game, it's a miss. Leon, they're not trading Bam, bro. I don't need to ask him that. They're not going to trade Bam. Okay. They're not trading Bam. Tyler would be one that I don't even know if they're smart enough to trade Tyler. You know, I hate to say this, but lately they haven't been a very smart franchise. That's just the reality of the Miami Heat and Pat Riley. And I love Riley to death. But like I've said for a while now, Riley has lost his fastball. And he's proven it over and over in the last 10 years. You know? That's all. It's just that you don't hear a lot of people with balls to criticize him. I saw a rant by Lebitard recently. So Lebby's kind of picked up where I'm at, where I've been at for a while. I've been telling you that Pat Riley hasn't been doing a good job for a long time. It's 10 years that he has done a mediocre job. He's lucky that he's got Spo, as I've said over and 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 over again. Spo makes everybody look better, including Riley. You know, I'm not afraid to say it, bro. Spo is the best coach that the Miami Heat have ever had. He's better than Riley. Riley was a one-trick pony. He had his style, and that's it. Spo is a guy that can adjust like no one can, dude. You know, so Spo's at another level. That's how good he is. Riley's a motivator. Spo is a supreme tactician. Difference. So to me, this is the problem. Not enough people, and now people are now picking up on this, and more people are having a little bit more guts and looking at the real issue, which is the front office. You know, not that they should go or anything, because what they've done for 25 years, nobody else will ever do. So it's not that. It's just we have to say, hey, Riles and company, you guys got to do much better. You're really you're the reason why the Miami Heat have not been able to really win a title. That's all. You don't complete your job on one end, and you can't. The coach does the best he can with what he has, but you don't give him enough, and you continually make bad contracts, bad deals, bad trades. The only thing they've done well is that they've gotten better at drafting. They're doing a good job at drafting. That's why I'd rather you reset and get as many picks as possible. So if you can get a bunch of picks and trade them for a young star, great. But if you're forced to draft those picks, I kind of like it. I like it with this coach. I kind of like it. I think you'll find a star eventually. You'll hit on one. I trust you that you'll do that. But I don't trust you when it comes to trades and free agency and that kind of stuff. Your game's off there. You've made a lot of bad moves, mediocre moves, desperate moves. I mean, the Terry Rozier one looks desperate. Just does. So, yeah, it just Riley's, he's slipping. He's falling. He can't get up. He's slipping. He's falling. He can't get up. But he better get back up to tear that shit up. That's what I got to say. Corso Traven, thank you for the love on the super chat, sir. Morning O. I'm beginning to think McDumbass told Greer he's good on the O-line, and Greer went along with him. Yeah, that's kind of the way it is. He doesn't put emphasis on guards. And Greer did before, because obviously he drafted Hunt. And so, what are you going to do? That's all. So, Greer screwed up. He has screwed up with his coaches, unfortunately, Flo and now McDaniel. And yeah, he can't listen to McDaniel tell him that Skyler's all right, or that yeah, we could teach anybody to be a guard. And those are holes in McDaniel's game, but the front office allowed it. But we already know that. It's old already. That's kind of, there's the problem that you're in. Clearly, Greer, Allen, and McKenzie need to step all over McDaniel's toes from here on out and tell him what he needs to do more than, because he doesn't know what he needs to do. All three of those guys are they have way more experience than McDaniel. They know better than McDaniel what to do. So to me, that's where they've got to, kind of go the other way. Frankie Fresco, thank you for the love on the super chat. My thoughts on Joy Taylor. I don't know anything about it. I have no idea. I don't work in that place. I don't know if she slept with anybody. I have no idea, Frankie. None whatsoever. So I'm clueless. What could I comment on? I don't even know her, dude. I've never met her. I've never talked to her. Maybe there was an exchange once on Twitter a long time ago. Here's my experience with Joy Taylor. Here you go. Here's Orlando Alzigari's experience with Joy Taylor. I don't know her from a hole in the wall. I know her as much as you guys do on FS1, and I know she was here in 790, all that kind of stuff, okay? This is all I know about her. She followed me on Twitter. I followed her on Twitter. Okay? She got her job in LA. She unfollowed me right away. That's it. That's all I know about her. Why she was following me while she was here, I have no idea because I've never met her. I don't even know her. So I followed her at the same time. Again, I don't know her. I have no idea. This is my only interaction with Joy Taylor. This is all I know about Joy Taylor. And then I know that she got her job in California. The next day, she unfollowed. Okay, that's it. That's all I know about Joy Taylor. So I can't answer anything. I don't know. Here, the only thing I can tell you, Frankie, okay? This is the only thing I can say. Does Jimmy Butler, is he looking for his Joy or Joy Taylor? Anyway, True Fin Fan, thank you for the love in the super chat. Remember, after Shula, we don't learn. Pat stays. Yeah, well, I'm fine with Pat staying. He's done more than enough to write off, whatever close he wants. I'm good with it. I can deal with him not having his fastball right now compared to when he did. Okay, maybe he'll get it back. Maybe he'll make the right deal, and who knows. So I'm willing. He's earned that right. I'm not going to push him out like we did with Shula. So I've said that for many years now. And so I get it. But even without his fastball, you've still made the finals. You've made the Eastern Conference finals. You still kind of make the playoffs all the time pretty much. And that's not his fastball. I don't want to go life without Riley. So I will ride Riley until Riley says I'm done. But I'm always going to back Riley. But I got to do my job and call things like I see it. Okay? That's all I'm saying. All right? Anyway. Your thoughts on trading our number one pick to the Vikings for J.J. McCarthy to have a backup and QB development? No. I didn't like J.J. McCarthy coming out of college. I'm not trading a first rounder for him. So I'd rather get a guard or a defensive tackle. I already know what's going to kind of happen. I'll tell you. That's it. Let's see what else. Joy Taylor followed Big O because she knows he knows his shit when it comes to the Finns, even more than her brother. Well, I mean, when it comes to the Dolphins, I know more than pretty much the entire media combined. I break more stories than everybody else, don't I? Seriously. Who in town gives you a heads up on more shit that goes on with the Dolphins? It's not even close, dude. It's not even close. Not even close. So it's not a Joy Taylor thing. It's an entire thing here in South Florida. National too, bro. I mean, give me a break. If you listen to the show, you find out more about the Dolphins and everything that's happening way before anybody else tells you anything here on this show. So please, the Taylors are minor league to me compared to the Dolphins. Why? Because Jason Taylor played for the team? He doesn't have any fucking insight. And Joy Taylor provides zero insight. So give me a break, dude. Please don't insult me by putting me in the same sentence with them as it comes to Dolphin insighting. You know, when it comes to the insight of the Dolphins, I am light years ahead of them. Not even close. Okay, so Jason Taylor's not even any kind of an insider. He just played for the team, dude. Silly shit. Sean, what are your thoughts of Hulk Hogan getting booed yesterday?
Well deserved, and the problem is everybody thinks it's more politically involved, but it's more so the racist comments, the other things like that, because again, he is a Trump supporter. He's in LA. Everybody's thinking it's along those lines. But if you look to the heart of the matter, it's more the racist comments that he had made and the fact that now the WWE has entered a partnership, a multi-year partnership with Hulk Hogan and Real American Beer to be the beer sponsor of WWE. So it's going to be very interesting because I doubt you see Hulk Hogan around too many times.
Interesting. There you go. Let's see. What else do we have? Big O, is Weaver going to be a one and yes, I believe so. I believe somebody will hire Weaver. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I'm a Miami fan, so I'm in constant state of disappointment. No, not really. We have the Panthers. That's not true. The Heat have gone to the playoffs a shit ton of times in the last 25 years, dude. Like what, 22 times out of 25? They've won the conference how many times? They've won the title 3 times. They've been to the finals how many times? I'm not sure what you're talking about, bro. Maybe because you're only a Dolphins fan. You know, if you're a one sport guy, then yeah, you're only in the misery. But we have some winning that goes on here. You know what I mean? It's not like nobody has won. The Panthers just won a Stanley Cup and went to the Stanley Cup the year before that. And they've gone to the playoffs 5-6 years, I believe, in a row. Not sure what you're talking about, my man. I mean, UM basketball went to a Final Four 3 years ago. Not sure what you're talking about. Maybe because you're just a Dolphins fan, but we have some winning going on. Inter Miami had a hell of a season. They screwed it up in the playoffs, but they won. They actually got to the playoffs, something that, you know, the Dolphins don't do. So maybe you want to phrase it the way that I'm only a Dolphins fan, so I only know misery. That's more like it. That's more like it. But South Florida fans, we've been blessed with some stuff, man. You know, we watched FAU also go to the Final Four. it hasn't been that bad. And now, if you're not an all sports person like yours truly and like Sean, well, then, I can't help you. But I love all sports. So I get to enjoy all seasons, and it's not all bad. The Hulk Hogan store in Orlando is pretty cool. He's got a store in Orlando? Really?
Yeah, it's on International Boulevard. He's also got one in Tampa as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it's got all the memorabilia. It's got a lot of wrestling stuff. If you're a wrestling fan, it is pretty awesome.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Very cool. Okay.
And sometimes he's there signing if that's what you're into.
Well, I'm not me, but I did not know.
Yeah.
I had no idea they had those kind that he had wrestling stores. I can see WWE because I have seen that somewhere.
No, they used to have a grill and a store in New York City, and they closed it down.
Okay, that's where I saw it. Okay. All right. Okay. I know I saw something like that once. Now I remember in my memory bank, I'm like, I did see a WWE store. Okay. All right. Let's see. Tua reminds me of that song. I wear my sunglasses at night so I can. Corey Hart. Yes. All right. Does Tua have Eurasian eyes is the question. Devin's looking at me like, what the fuck is he talking about? Corey Hart had a song called that. That's why. I just want to go a little deeper into the Corey Hart catalog there. You know what I'm saying? Pat Riley made the heat from Zoe to Spo. I agree with you. Stay till he wants, even without his fastball. 2 finals, 3 Eastern Conference finals from LA to New York to Miami. How did Phil Jackson do? Exactly. Yeah, I'm going to call it like I see it, but I'm going to back my man Riley every day of the week and twice on Sundays. So, Marino Castillo, thank you for the love on the super chat. Big O, you should go to today's press conference. We need some tough and serious questions there. I just don't feel like driving over there, to be quite honest. I'm just like, it's the minutia of all that bullshit. I've done it for so many years, and it just gets tiresome. So that's why, plus the fact that the NFL doesn't allow me to air more than a minute and 40 seconds of comments, or they sue me. I'm at a point where I'm like, fuck you, NFL. You know what I mean? So that's kind of why you see that I don't really put a lot of sound or video or anything. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to tell you, we got hit for the Omar clips today.
There you go.
It happened. So I don't know if where's he at now? The Sun or the Herald?
He's the Herald.
So I'm not sure if maybe they have something there, but I could have sworn we've played Omar's clips before. Yeah, we did. Nothing happened, but yeah, we got hit this morning.
We got tagged this morning from YouTube for the Tua cuts that were filmed by Omar.
No, the Tyreek clips.
The Tyreek cuts that were filmed by Omar. It's not even filmed by ESPN or NFL Films or something like that, right? Just another reporter, and we got tagged for it. So they tagged the video, and then they don't allow you to monetize it until you edit out, and then you. Like I told you, I can't live off views. Sean can't live off views. That's why we tell you, our sponsors, without Cutter's Edge Pro, without Acura Pembroke Pines, without Hialeah Park, without Welton Rayom, without Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, without you guys visiting our merchandise store, we aren't going to live off views. We're not living off. Nobody lives off views. You got to get millions of views to live off of that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why we tell you, visit our amazing sponsors, dude. Because without Caneswear, we're not here, dude. We're not here. Forget it. Without Slomans, we're not here. Nope. Big cheese, all that. Without your super chats, without your Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, we're not. It's impossible for us to make a living because of all this bullshit that goes out there. They do anything and everything to stop us from advancing. You know, on Twitter, I don't pay for the thing because I used to have my check mark, right? Because I'm media. And they obviously Elon took it all away because he's losing his ass on the thing, and so he charges everybody. I don't pay for it. So guess what? Not everybody sees my tweets anymore. You know, I have agents that wanted to send me a DM, and they had to text me and say, "Yo, I wanted to send you a DM on something you posted. I can't. Twitter doesn't find you because I don't pay for the check mark." So, you know, all that kind of stuff hurts me, but I refuse to, you know, I'm that guy. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to conform to your bullshit, you know, and I'll just plow through and I'll continue to do it my way. And that's it. That's all. So when we tell you things, it's for a reason, you know, that's what keeps us afloat. Ain't these fucking views, because it ain't YouTube, you know? Good thing is at least we get to connect, but outside of that, we're not living off of stinking YouTube. No, not off those views. And on top of all of that, they limit us as it is. So what am I going to do? Corso says, are you a fan of all Star Wars movies? Yes, I'm a fan of everything. I've been a fan since I was a child in the mid-70s, bro. Since I got in line to go see the first Star Wars in Dadeland Mall. That's where I saw when we used to have a theater right across the street from Dadeland. Where Home Depot is and all that, there was a theater there, and that's where I saw Star Wars. And then I saw Return of the Jedi. I saw at the Miracle Theater on Miracle Mile. I remember that. Yeah. What else do we have here? Just to correct Sean, Hogan's shop is on Mendeley Avenue in Clearwater Beach, close to his old home. All right there, Sean?
I got it. Thank you, Zokoko 40. Appreciate it.
Say hey, Mendeley.
Let me ask something. Mo. Isn't that all like the same area? Clearwater, Tampa? No? Clearwater's different area?
It's a little bit more west.
Okay.
Clearwater. Yeah.
I lump it all together, kind of like, you know, Miami, South Beach and everything.
Yeah, Clearwater is a little bit more west from Tampa and a little bit more, I think, slightly north, I want to say. Slightly. I love Clearwater, by the way. Fucking love Clearwater. Love Clearwater. That's a cool little town, cool little downtown to stay at, everything. I love Clearwater. Really, really cool place. Really cool place. Really enjoy Clearwater. When I get to go to that West Coast area, I have stayed in Clearwater a few times. And even though I'm going over to Busch Gardens, I'm still in Clearwater because I really love Clearwater. And it's really cool at night, and they got a bunch of restaurants and really cool family atmosphere Clearwater has. So haven't been there in a couple of years. You know what? I'm due for a Clearwater trip, actually. Would like that. Would be good. Let's see what else. Okay. All right. Just reading something from a scout friend of mine right now that just sent me something because I sent him a question. Let's see. Big O, you'll be just fine. Your personality and the variety of your show is addictive. Keep it up, bro. Thank you, Big Johnson. Appreciate you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But you get it. You know what I'm saying? So thank you. Not everybody does. Not everybody does. And that's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? What else do we have going on? Dolphins. The headline on the show today says the Miami Dolphins will have to do at QB. Well, I actually should have added that. We'll have to do this at QB to protect themselves from Tua. So I left this out there. Now I just looked at it. You can't edit that, right? Now that we started, you can't edit it, unfortunately. Anyway, so Dolphins have to protect themselves, as we've talked about already, from Tua, okay? It's not that I'm not a Tua believer in his ability, okay? I believe in him being a quarterback, but I don't believe he has a future anymore because of the way he has chosen to play, the way he has chosen to not take care of his body. And because he has chosen to not take care of his body, that is going to be a major problem for the Miami Dolphins moving forward because you can no longer trust him. So then the question becomes, what do you do and how do you protect yourself? You're going to need a veteran. Should you draft somebody? We're going to find out, and we're going to get more into the Jackson Darts and the Quinn Ewers of the world and any of the other quarterbacks that could go somewhere in the second, third, fourth rounds. We're going to start to talk about that as time goes on. We're going to find out who declares and who's available health-wise, all that kind of stuff, and track record. And we'll get a list and we'll gather all that stuff. We're not ready for that yet, okay? But that's coming because I believe it's kind of a two-prong attack to protect yourself from Tua, since Tua refuses to protect himself from himself. Okay? Dolphins must protect themselves. Now, how do you do that? One is definitely in the draft. You got to find a project. You know Skylar's dead. That's not a project. That's done. And I think by now, most of you have figured out Snoop Huntley's not a guy. There's a reason why he was on the practice squad for Baltimore. Okay? Practice squad. You're not valued as a quarterback if you're on the practice squad, but you were on the practice squad because you were a specialty quarterback, a running quarterback. So not really a lot of offenses can use you. You don't fit Miami's offense. Only dumbass Mike McDaniel would want to think that, but whatever. That's a whole other subject that that guy doesn't know talent. It's obvious. So this is what you're going to do if you're the Miami Dolphins. All right. You're going to go after a veteran backup, one that kind of fits what you do. The first guy you're going to go after is Jimmy Garoppolo from the Rams. He signed a 1-year deal. His 1 year is up. And remember, he was suspended for the first couple of games for a PED type of suspension thing. So Garoppolo pretty much stayed healthy because he didn't play until the end of the year. He probably was playing there because he was playing behind the old man and said, I got a shot at, maybe backing up, maybe playing. And Stafford stayed healthy and Garoppolo didn't play much. And so Garoppolo will be a free agent again. Tua's injury history reappeared after disappearing last year for an entire season. So that will entice a guy like Garoppolo to say, hey, I can go there and possibly play. Target number 2 will be Joshua Dobbs out of San Francisco. He's 29 years old. He signed a 1-year deal with San Francisco last year. San Francisco, the Rams, familiarity. There are things in both offenses that can relate to what you're doing here in Miami. Okay? And Dobbs is kind of the athletic guy that kind of fits that scheme. Okay? Again, I don't think either guy's going to save your season if Tua goes down, but I don't think you're going to acquire a veteran that is, because it just doesn't exist. But if you want two realistic, super realistic targets, Miami Dolphin fans, I want you to put it in your memory banks, because we're telling you now on January 7th, 2025, okay, we give you the skinny that I think these are kind of the guys that they would go after on the veteran side. So expect them to land something along these lines right here, a Garoppolo or a Joshua Dobbs. They're the guys that kind of fit what you need. Okay, everybody's coming back. And what did I tell you did I not say a couple of weeks ago? Everybody's coming back, Sean. Let's just start, when the season ends, let's just start talking about how you build on what you have. Did I not say that? Even before all the announcements, even before a stupid ass report came out about, oh no, Chris Greer's going to retire and move to another position or something, like stupid shit. Even before all of that, 2 weeks ago, I told you guys, hey, they're all coming back. What we got to do when the season ends is start to talk about what we have. We got to deal with it. And what do they do from here? So that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to lay the groundwork for you guys on what I think, what I believe might be the way they kind of reshape the roster moving forward. So I believe Garoppolo and Joshua Dobbs will be two of the targets for the Miami Dolphins. That's just me. You want your backup? That's your backup right there. Okay? That's your backup that can start a few games, since Tua will do stupid things to get himself injured. I hate that the Dolphins are in this position. They're in this position because Tua chooses to put them in this position. It really is horseshit. Absolute horseshit on Tua's part. All right? He could easily stay healthy for the whole season by playing smart, and he just wants to be stupid, and now the team has to completely adjust. Steve M., Tua's shades prove my point. Tua can't handle the bright lights of the big games. There we go. You got it. No bright lights, no big games, no soup for you. That's the way we got to look at it. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate the Venmo, as always. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, which you know we love our Bitcoin or Ethereum donations. That is always amazing. True Fin Fan says, I know you know something as usual. LOL. I'm Schultz. I know nothing. I see nothing. I hear nothing. So I'm just going to throw it out there. These are names that they could possibly go after. It's all. It's a possibility. Just a possibility. Just a chance. That's all I'm saying. JoJo says Dobbs makes things happen. Tito, 25 years without a playoff win is pathetic and comical at the same time. Well, why aren't you laughing? Fields would be cheap and coachable. He can't hit the side of a barn. He has zero accuracy, bro. It's pot luck when he throws. I can't. I love the kid. Let me tell you something. I'm a big Justin Fields fan. I like the kid. I love his toughness. I think he has the mental makeup. Really, physically, he has all the tools to be successful. but I just have never seen the consistent accuracy. That's the only thing that has scared the shit out of me with Justin. And I like him a lot because I think physically and mentally he has everything. But man, if you can't fix accuracy, I don't know how he does it, dude. So that's the only place. That's where you and I will go into different directions in that one. Let's see. Out here in the fields, I fight for my meals. If Dobbs and Garoppolo not available, Geno Smith is plan C at worst case scenario. Okay. Let's see. Here's let me see something here a second. Because I sometimes trip out with this kind of stuff. Geno Smith. Here we go. If this damn thing can hurry up. Here we go. Let's see. Geno Smith has a contract in place for 24 and 25, but there was a potential out last year and they didn't. He is locked into this season and next season already. So see, that's the problem with some of you out there. You don't do your homework and then you like pull something out of your ass. And Seattle doesn't have a quarterback. They have Geno Smith. So he's under contract for next year. Why would Miami have him when he's under contract? You can't. See what I'm saying? Joshua Dobbs and Jimmy Garoppolo, they signed a 1-year contract. They are free agents. Okay. This is why some of us are built to do this job and some of you are not. Okay. Anyway, Brett Dodger, I love the guy who played Getspo Major Hochstetler. Gestapo Major Hochstetler. Major Hochstetler in Hogan's Heroes. Yes. What is this man doing here? Gerardo Fernandez, every time Tua plays reckless, it confirms reason behind the report that has said he didn't do good on the Wonderlic test, LOL. That has nothing to do with playing football, Gerardo. Neil Smith got like an A. By the way, Marino sucked in the Wonderlic. Marino had a terrible Wonderlic. Again, Gerardo, some of us are built to do this job. Some of you are not. You know what? I'm not sure if Sam Howell, at least, you know what I love about that, about Jose M? He doesn't say, go get Sam Howell. He says, is Sam Howell available? It's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. Probably not, but let's see. He could be, you know. They might have stuck him with one of those 2-year deals wherever he's at, and or he only signed a 1-year deal, and that might be an option too. Let's see. He's the backup in Seattle.
Yeah.
You got it already?
Yeah. He's got 25. He's owed 1.1 million. 26. He's an unrestricted free agent.
Yeah, so he's not free. Yeah, you're right. 1.1 next year. So they've got both their starter and backup locked up. But at least this man asked, is he available? So they have both their guys. Wow, that's pretty good. Not that Gino is great or anything like that, but at least they're prepared. So, yep.
Wow, the Washington, would they trade him to Seattle? Is that what they did?
I think so.
Yeah, because he's still on his rookie deal from Washington. That's why he's so cheap.
Yeah, that's what
it was a 4-year, $4 million deal with the Commanders, and then they traded him to Seattle.
Yep. And they may have gotten themselves a break because sometimes kids develop later, man. You know, I would have had a little bit more patience with Sam Howell myself, but I think more Garoppolo and Dobbs are more along the lines of what these guys might be looking for. You know, the Sam Howell one is kind of interesting. If you can't get the other two guys, I can see them doing something like that. But the other two guys already have experience. So, you know, although Sam has built his experience too also. I just think that those other two guys are going to be more of your priorities. If the Dolphins go after a backup, that'll be it right there. Mariota to be a free. No. And if the Dolphins sign Mariota, you can come back to this platform. The rip job will be epic. It will be fucking epic. Okay? That's how absolutely I'm against Marcus Mariota. Okay? All right? That guy, I've never been a fan of that guy. Looks like a terrific young man. His wife is a rock. I saw that show last year, the one with the quarterbacks. His wife is freaking awesome, dude. That's how you want, you know, that's when you love somebody, you got to stand with them through thick and thin. And she's a rock, dude. Very, very impressed with their relationship. Very impressive. But Mariota's a passer. Oh my God, you can, no. Carson Wentz has 1 year left. Well, that doesn't do us any good. What about Joe Milton as a backup? He's young and athletic. I'm telling you, this is what I think will happen as a backup. I don't know much. You know me. I'm just throwing it out there. Okay. I'm sure there's going to be a team out there that will give the Dolphins a second-round pick. For what? What's he talking about? Garoppolo, I would put on the same level with Tua and QB competition. Sounds good to me. Yeah, normally stupid people say that, Lofi. Okay? Nobody has QB competitions for your starter, Lofi. You know? Stop with that already. I mean, you know, every time people bring that shit up, it's just the dumbest shit in the world. Nobody does that. Garoppolo's never been in the MVP race or anything like that. You know what I mean? He doesn't lead the league in completion percentage. He's never played like Tua in his life. You know what I'm saying? He's a backup is what he is. Nothing more. Nobody brings in competition for their starter. The problem with our starter is that he's stupid and he wants to put his body at harm. It's not that he can't play, Lofi. Nobody brings in competition for. They're not bringing competition for Baker Mayfield in Tampa. They don't do that. They don't bring it in for anybody. For anyone, for May in New England, they don't. They draft you, you're the guy. That's the way it goes. That's the way it's always been all over the league. You draft your guy, Burrow, whatever, that's your guy. And that's it. Nobody drafts a first rounder and then drafts another guy to compete with the first rounder. Nobody does that, Lofi. Doesn't exist in the league. Okay? So stop with the stupid fucking ignorant shit that I hear from fans and some dumb fucking media members. Oh, no, we got to bring competition. The problem is not competition. The problem is fucking stupidity on Tua's part. He proved last year he can stay on the field and kick ass for you, but he's got to play the right way. His problem is not that he can't play, is that he can't actually make good decisions with his body. It's not about competition. He outplays half the league already as it is. You're not going to find top 15 quarterback to come in and compete with him. Just stupid shit that people, it's like, and I like you, Lofi, but it's like too many of you, and I don't care who you are, I may like you, but when you say something so fucking stupid, it just sets me off, and I don't care who you are. I just don't give a shit who you are. It's ignorant shit. Nobody brings in competition for your starter. Nobody. Just doesn't exist. Jesus. It's just amazing to me how fucking stupid people are and keep saying, one person says it and then someone else repeats it. And then when I see writers write it, I can understand goofballs on podcasts, fans and shit that don't know jack shit about the game anyway. They're just fans. They hang on their emotions. But then when I see writers write, oh, no, you got to bring competition for what kind of shit is that? You either replace his ass. There's no competition. You replace his ass if you want. Anyway. Big O, why Tua does not use a soft shell? Bro, he doesn't need a soft shell helmet. You know what he needs? He needs a fucking brain to stop taking on contact. That's all. Stay away from contact. All the other stiffs did the same thing. Tom Brady wasn't seeking contact at all, dude. He was throwing the ball away. Did you watch him the last season? His ass didn't even want to get – you were like within 15 feet he was throwing the ball away. He wanted no part of contact in his final year either. Marino the same. Marino couldn't move. He knew it. Got rid of it. He wasn't out there to go tackle somebody. Only Tua does stupid shit like that. That's his problem. His problem is just stop doing the stupid shit. The other stuff has to be taken care of by the coach in the front office. They're the ones that got to take care of the line. They're the ones that got to dedicate themselves to a real running game, a punishing running game. That's how you do it. Their responsibilities are completely different than what Tua has to do. Tua has to learn how to take care of his body and stop being stupid. That's it. Tua's stupidity is what sets this team back. Because obviously, if he plays the 6 games he missed, they probably win 4 of those games easily. You're easily in the playoffs with a hell of a record. Not that you're going to win the Super Bowl or anything like that, because obviously this is not a physical team, but you're in the playoffs. So Tua's got to learn to stop being stupid. That's what he's got to learn. It's not that he can't play. When you're stuck in QB hell for 30 years and never had competition at the QB position, I think the Finns need to try anything. Again, this is AD. Since Marino, they can't find one quarterback. You want them to find 2. Since Marino, they can't find one quarterback. This is the only one they've ever found since Marino. Who else is in the MVP race? Who else can lead the league in completion percentage? I'm sorry, I must have missed that. Go see the stat. Go watch the game. Go see the stat. Playing with Tua and without Tua, the record. I'm not sure. How fucking stupid are you people? 80 dances. How stupid are you, bro? You and Lofi, how fucking stupid are you people? They can't even find one quarterback. So now you want to find two really good. You want to find two top 15 quarterbacks to compete against each other. Right? Tua for me is easily top 10. But you guys want to find two top 15s. Let's just say that. They can't find one since Marino. You want to find two top 15s. I'm just wondering. Is that what you're saying? 80 dances? Is that what you're saying, Lofi? Just, use some common sense. It's impossible. It doesn't happen. So if you see a writer write, oh, you got to bring competition for Tua, that's fucking stupid. Nobody brings in competition for their starter. The Dolphins can't even find a starter. This is the best you've ever had since Marino. And you think you're going to find somebody to compete with the guy? No, the guy just needs to learn how to play smart and stay on the stupid field. He's not the problem. Now, if he can't stay on the field, yeah, that's a problem. But you need to go find a complete other starter to replace him. Nobody drafts a first-round, and now let's go get competition for him. No, dude, nobody does that. So it's not about competition, morons. Okay? It's about an insurance policy if he gets injured, or it's about him getting his head out of his culo and play smart. Those are the issues. Okay? And I get it. The only idiots that say, oh, bring competition for Tua are the people that don't think Tua can play in the first place. Lofi, that's who you are, because that's who you've been from day one. So you say stupid shit that everybody else has said, or some dumbass writer wrote, oh, bring in competition. That's fucking stupid and ignorant. Understand that. Nobody can compete with a guy that leads the NFL in completion percentage. You don't do that shit by accident. You're not in the MVP race in 2 years by accident. It's not luck. That's why Jay Fiedler couldn't do it, or Chad Pennington, or Cleo Lemon, or Ray Lucas, or any of the fucking clowns that you've had here since Marino. So grow up. Open your eyes. Notice how they do things in the NFL. When you draft your highly placed quarterback, you don't go bringing competition in for him. And especially when they've already proven they can play. His problem is he's got to prove he can stay healthy, not that he can play. But that's the problem with some of you. You're not smart enough to figure that out because your ignorance blinds you thinking it's about competition. Let's get to our Welt and Rheum Miami Dolphins report with David Furones.
Oh, it's man.
I'm sorry, that's in the afternoon. Let's get to our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report with Manny Navaro. My bad.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navaro. Exclusively on a Big O radio show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navaro.
Right. There he is. How you feeling, baby? Feeling good?
Feeling good, man. How about you?
I can't complain, Little dip in Bitcoin right now. So it's your job now to get it back over 100,000 now. I just went under 100,000. So
I will try my best.
Yeah, it was at 97 something. Now it's at 98. So, let's go. Let's you're the guy that does the pump. So let's go, bro. It's up to you right now to turn things around. You got to turn around Bitcoin over 100 grand, and you got to turn around the Canes. What's easier?
Probably Bitcoin. Because they are losing. They are losing a lot, and somehow I always make Bitcoin work. So I'm gonna just go with that.
Yes. Somehow you do. Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So what's going on with the losses, the defections?
Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of the guys that they're losing in the portal are not high quality guys. I know one of them just signed with Georgia, Jaden Harris, the safety, the third-year safety who started 12 games for them. But let's be honest, we looked at that safety position and that secondary in general this year, and it wasn't very good. So it was funny. I was having a conversation with the Georgia writer at The Athletic, Seth Emerson, who does a terrific job covering Georgia and the SEC, and he says to me, what is it about this Jaden Harris guy? Like, why would Georgia take him? And I said, honestly, I don't even think he's Georgia material. I don't think he's Georgia Tech material. So, but for whatever reason, he's one of the latest guys to depart. And look, in the end, when you fire a defensive coordinator, guys are going to go running for the hills because, especially on that side of the ball, because they know whoever's coming in is going to look at that unit and say, hey, you're not meant to play here. We got to fix this. So it doesn't surprise me one bit. But, Mario, I think, has done a good job in the portal the last week. He's picked up important need positions. He got a center again, James Brockermeyer, who was a 12-game starter at TCU. He pulled in a tight end, Alex Bauman, to replace Riley Williams. Bauman's a big physical guy who played at Tulane. Tulane, is a G5 school, but they're one of the better G5 programs. He was a starter there, started 25 games. So he's filling needs. Is this roster still where it needs to be? Absolutely not, because you need to get a quarterback, and I don't know who that quarterback is going to be.
Yeah, that's obviously what everybody wants to know. Is there any rumors out there of guys they're trying to convince and all that kind of stuff? I got people telling me Quinn Ewers is a guy that they're trying to target. And is he going to go to the draft, or is he going to go back?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think Ewers, the rumor was that maybe he would end up at Michigan early on in the process. Michigan obviously spent $10 million on the best freshman in the country, Bryce Underwood, to come in. So I can't imagine that he'll end up there now. It just depends on what Ewers ultimately decides here. I think his draft stock could improve with a run to the national championship here. He's had sort of an up and down season, part of it affected by injuries, but if he becomes available, I'm willing to bet Miami would pay a high price to get Quinn Ewers here over what they've got in the building right now to come in and sort of have a Cam Ward type year here in South Florida is what they would sell him on. So I think he's a guy they look at. I think Carson Beck is another one that, we'll see ultimately whether or not he stays in the draft coming off that elbow injury or decides to come back to college to prove himself and improve his draft stock. So I think those are the two guys right now that I would say are the most gettable in terms of if they decide not to go pro. And I think it has to almost be that same exact scenario as Cam Ward. I think a lot of the other guys that are out there are just guys. They're not super talented difference makers. So it is what it is. This is the team that Mario built. He counted on Emory Williams to come back and look good. And unfortunately, he looked terrible in that bowl game. Just did not look like a guy who could be your starting quarterback. So you hope that maybe in the offseason, the spring, there's some improvements made, and that this team runs the football a whole lot with some of the guys that they got in the backfield.
All right, defensive coordinator. What are you hearing?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's interviewed several guys already for that position. The thing with Mario, and you and I have talked about this quite a bit. Oh, and I'm going to my notes here from some of the names that I've had here from conversations with different people. But he's talked to a couple guys. One of them is the Tennessee defensive coordinator, who I think is not going to end up here. Santucci from Georgia Tech is another one. He went into Georgia Tech, did a great job with that unit. Aaron Henry was another name, a guy with secondary experience. I think those are the three guys that three guys that pretty well known that have already spoken to Mario. But again, we know how Mario operates. He takes a long time. I think there's some NFL guys that he always likes to talk to year in and year out. Part of this is idea gathering and trying to figure out, who ultimately is the best fit. It's hard to convince NFL guys to come back to college now. So I don't know if that's going to ultimately work out, especially with all the bull crap you have to deal with the transfer portal and kissing kids' asses all the time. So I think, at some point he will make a decision and hire somebody. But I think to this point, he's still in the interview process.
All right. What else going on the recruiting side?
Well, look, they're going to end up getting in a bunch of freshmen here in January, right? Guys will start taking classes, participate in spring ball. The ones I'm most excited about ultimately are the freshman receivers, because that's a position that has to be filled. To this point, they've only got C.J. Daniels out of the transfer portal. They tried to get the Branch brothers from USC to come here. They ended up going to Georgia. But there's some talented receivers that are going to be walking in the door. Josh Moore from West Broward High School. He's a big 6'4", 205-pound guy. I think he's going to play a lot as a freshman. You look at the Malachi Tony from Plantation American Heritage. I think he was the player of the year here in South Florida. Kid that moved up from the 26th class, slot receiver, playmaker. So to me, there's going to be some fresh guys stepping on campus. And then, of course, their quarterback, Luke Nickel, who, you have to give him a shot. If Miami doesn't get anybody out of the transfer portal here, you would have to give that true freshman a chance to come in here and compete with Emory Williams, because Emory Williams didn't show you a lot. You have Judd Anderson, who was here for a year, but I don't know that he's the guy. He's more of a project, 6'7", big body type guy that probably needs a couple years of development before he gets that chance. So I think Luke Nickel will come in, and he'll be a guy that'll be interesting to watch once he sets foot on campus.
So what's your prediction for the games, for the semifinals?
Yeah, I'm in the process of picking that. Before the playoffs started, I had Ohio State and Notre Dame in the national championship game, with Ohio State winning. I picked
Ohio State winning it all, bro.
Yeah, I had Ohio State winning it all in August when I saw that roster they were putting together. Then they went out and they shit the bed against Michigan and got everybody scared. But the reality is Ryan Day has that offense humming now. Chip Kelly, I think, was saving a little bit of the stuff that he was running during the regular season for the postseason. Coaches tend to do that. Good ones do anyway. And so you're seeing Jeremiah Smith line up in places that he didn't do in the regular season. And that guy clearly, I think if he were to come out now, I know he's only a true freshman, but if that guy were to come out now, I think he'd definitely be a top 5 pick just in terms of talent and ability. So he's one of the rare ones that you would maybe make that exception for. So they just have a stacked team. Talent wise, and they're playing very, very well. Their quarterback, Will Howard, is doing a really good job distributing the football. So I got Ohio State and Notre Dame winning this week. I think Notre Dame's defense is really, really good. You got to give Al Golden credit for what he's done. Penn State's got a solid team.
And the running game, bro, the Notre Dame's running game gives them the foundation so they can, because their passing game isn't like scary, but it's right, but it's good enough.
Yeah, no, I mean, Riley Leonard can make plays with his feet and keep you honest, and then every now and then he'll make a throw or two. But their running game and just the way they control the football really is what it's about. They'll ball control the hell out of you, and then you got to make plays on that great defense that Al Golden has out there. So it's a tough. That's going to be a slugfest. That's going to feel like an old school football game. Thursday night at the Orange Bowl. I'll be there to cover that game. Those are my 2 picks, man, and I think ultimately Ohio State wins it all.
You and I agree. I'm going Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Ohio State winning it all. Yeah.
Yep.
That's it. That's exactly it. All right. What do you got going on in the Athletic? So folks can subscribe, my friend.
Well, I'm going to do my season wrap up here on the Canes, my final thoughts on 2024 and looking ahead to 25. Just give you my my final report on the season and what I think. I haven't written that yet. I will be doing that soon. And in fact, I'm recording a session today with a couple of the people from the ACC network. They're going to have me on their podcast. Eric McLean, who does TV, is a good dude, former Clemson offensive lineman. So I'll have that and plenty of transfer portal stuff and Orange Bowl coverage. That's what I'm doing this week.
All right, good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navaro. Manny, have a fantastic week, my friend. We'll catch up on Friday.
All right, brother. Take care.
Thank you, sir. There you go. The great Manny Navaro coming through for you. Caneswear, Brett and all the great people at Caneswear get anything and everything practically with the Canes logo on it. You need you want a neon sign for your bar? They got it. You want a beautiful replica of the Orange Bowl? They got it. Jerseys, shirts, hats, magnets, flags, you name it. Heat gear, Dolphins gear, Panthers gear, Inter Miami gear. They got it all for you, man. So get on down there, check it out. What else am I missing? Canes. No, all 5. There you go. All 5. Canes were at Miami Fanware, 2655 South University Drive in Davie. Use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off. And if you order online, you will get free shipping over $99. Caneswear.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
All right. Listen, back to the TUA thing that a lot of you are completely missing. If you don't run the ball, you make it easy to defend. And since Miami cannot run the ball and you can't suck up the safety in there and you can't bring in the linebacker a little bit more, you're screwed. So the middle of the field is not going to be open. And that's it. So until you establish the run, we had the greatest passer in the game for me is Marino. And he's the greatest passer. Like, you're never going to have another guy like that. Tua's not him. Tua's fucking fantastic as a passer. He's not Marino. Marino was a freak of all freaks, and Marino can't get it done. He can only do so much, and you can't do it without a running game. And that's why when Marino would go up against, like he did with the Niners, they spanked him and sent him home. And he got dogged in that game. And that's why when he would go up against the Bills, they could run. He couldn't. And he can only do so much. But if you people want to keep being stupid football fans and not understand how the game is played, and you just want to keep like, oh, no, we got to be like I saw somebody put, oh, well, against you, his arm's not good enough to go against. No, you don't go against that because you're just throwing into interceptions and double teams. That doesn't make any sense. So he countered it by killing them underneath, which is fantastic. But if you don't have a running game like Tom Brady had, like Drew Brees had, okay, so you can dink and dunk, pound them with the running game, and then as you suck them all in, boom, right over the top. That's how you do it when you've got Montana. That's how you do it when you've got Peyton Manning. But you got to have that balance. If you have imbalance, then you've got John Elway before Terrell Davis, and you've got Marino. And those guys are freaks. Tua's not even a freak. He's an exceptional passer, but he's not a freak. And the freaks couldn't get it done. The freaks could only get embarrassed in big games. Why? Because they didn't have the rest of the team. But you guys keep hitting your heads right into the wall and not understanding how the game of football is being played. So until the Dolphins win at the line of scrimmage and can run the ball and shove the ball down somebody's throat for 4 or 5 yards anytime they want, pretty much, you're not ever going to dominate in the passing game. You fooled them once and they said, oh, okay, no, we're not going to allow this shit anymore to happen. And then they clamped it down because they get the tape. They figure you out. It's up to the coach to counter. We don't have a coach that counters. He can't even counter in the same game. So he puts his players, including Tua, the guy that some of you dislike, at a disadvantage. I understand that there's a lot of you that you're fans, but you really don't follow the game of football and you really don't understand what's going on in the game of football. So you're just fanatical and emotional and you talk a lot of shit and it makes you sound stupid. Oh, no, we'll just throw right into the double teams and throw into the shell coverage. No, asshole, you're supposed to run the ball to break the shell. But if you can't run the ball, which they can't, you won't break the shell. Why would they? Why are we going to do that? And then you want the stupid thing to do, throw deep anyway, because, of course, that's the smartest thing to do. You know when it's smart? When you have a big receiver downfield. Then you can throw. Does Miami have a big receiver to throw downfield? No. That's when, of course, just heave it downfield, and there's Oronde Gadsden. Double team, single team, doesn't matter. He's going to come down with the football. All he's got to do is high point it. You give him Devontae Parker. He's covered, but he can high point the ball. Right? Does Tua have that? Does this asshole add it? No. He keeps adding midget receivers. So that's the Tua's benefit. Too many of you just don't know the game. That's all. You just don't know the game. So that's why you get the Lofis of the world with stupid-ass comments. And the AD dances and all that. Just because you don't know the game. That's all. Or whatever opinion you have of a player, you need to then twist your negative opinion of the player to then formulate a stupid opinion about how the game should be played. Wow. Holy shit. Jose says, I think the recipe should have been a star wide receiver, 1-star running back instead of 2-star wideouts in a thin line. Well, you need the line with the running back because the running back's not, he can only do so much if you don't have a line. You got to have a line, bro. You got to go out and get some fat guys at guard. You got to get some guys that can push some people around. You have to do it. And they have not done it. And, well, they had one guy in Hunt. They just didn't replace him. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem. You had a guy, but you got to replace him. And you failed to replace him. And that's on the front office. They've got to go out and get 2 SOBs at guard to help out. There's no doubt about that. And if they don't do that, they're going to be at a disadvantage again. If you cannot run the ball, you will not win. Sorry. You have to be able to run the ball. Mahomes can hand it off to Pacheco. And Pacheco's going to get the tough yardage. And that offensive line is going to block for him and get him the tough yards. Mahomes is going to make his plays. Chris Jones is going to make his plays. Pacheco's going to make his plays. It's a team thing, dude. It's a team thing. And if you don't have Pacheco in the running game and you don't have Chris Jones, you're not going to win the Super Bowl either if you're Kansas City, even with Mahomes. That was proven a couple of years ago when Tyreek was there and they didn't have an offensive line and they got their asses kicked. Got to have an O-line, man. So until Miami fixes the O-line and until they can run the ball, they're not going to be able to really challenge teams in every fashion. And they're going to have to continue to do all the stuff underneath. By the way, you have no idea how hard it is to be that consistent and that accurate the entire season under those conditions with no offensive line and no threat of a running game and no big receivers outside of your tight end. You have no idea how much harder McDaniel makes it on Tua or any other quarterback that's there, by the way. It's not just a Tua thing. He made it harder on Huntley. He didn't even adjust to Huntley's talents. When he first started Huntley, he didn't even have Huntley running. He had him throwing the ball more. And it's like, what are you doing? This guy does not put his players in positions to be successful. He's just a bad coach. That's why, for me, if next year, man, it's hard for me to get excited about it with McDaniel because he is just terrible. His magic season came and went. The real Tua misses games 4 out of 5 a year. Yeah, no, that's the real Tua. Until proven otherwise, what he proved last year was an aberration. That's it. He proved that last year was just, sadly, you know what it makes it look like? He only did it for a contract. Because of his reckless nature, because he continually proves that he doesn't give a shit about his team, and he doesn't give a shit about his family, and he doesn't give a shit about the front office, and he doesn't give a shit about owners, and he doesn't give a shit about the fans, because he does it. And he puts his body at risk, right? And then obviously by putting his body at risk, he's hurting his future for his family. He's hurting his team currently. He's hurting the front office that gave him the contract, and he's pissing in the face of the owner and the fans. That's what it looks like. Sorry. Because you were reckless before, you stayed responsible for the contract year, and you went back to being reckless again. So it shows me that this is who you were in Alabama, this is who you were at the beginning of your Dolphins career, and this is who you are now in your Dolphins career. You only did it 1 year out of pure convenience. That's what the optics are. Tua doesn't seem like that kind of person, right? He doesn't even resemble that kind of person. But sorry, that's what the optics look like now. The optics look like you are a con artist, just like Jimmy Butler, just like your buddy Tyreek Hill, right? That's what the optics are. The optics are you don't give a shit. And you constantly prove that you don't care about your team. Your words mean nothing. You say one thing and do something else, just like Tyreek, just like Jimmy Butler. And you're not really those guys. But these are the optics you have brought upon yourself, Tua. I know you're not that guy, but that's what it looks like. So when fans say, oh, he only stayed healthy last year because he wanted the contract, you can't blame them. Because they only know that you were reckless in Alabama. So a lot of people didn't want you because you were reckless. And then when they did draft you, you stayed reckless. And then the year you needed to get a contract, you stayed responsible. And then once you got your contract, you went back to being the person you've always been, reckless. Optics. The optics for Tua are ugly. Facts. You want to change them? Well then, change the way you carry yourself, Tua. That's the only way you're going to do it. And by the way, change it by doing it for, 3 years. That way people say, oh, okay, he's really learned how to play. Not a 1-year wonder bullshit. Don't forget, you can support the show, Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. And, of course, you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Appreciate it as always. Thank you all out there. Don't forget the Big Cheese, BigCheeseMiami.com, proud sponsors of our program. Gary, Billy, great people, 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue in Miami, whether it's the lasagna, the baked ziti, the cheese ravioli, the eggplant parmesan, the sauteed chicken, the chicken francais. It just goes on and on and on. And then the desserts like the chocolate masseuse cake, the Oreo cookie cheesecake, the big cheesecake, all kinds of different desserts out there. And then the garlic rolls. That's where you start off with the garlic rolls because they are to die for. All their dishes, by the way, are available in meat sauces, tomato sauce, Alfredo sauce, and pink sauce. Go out there, go to BigCheeseMiami.com. miami.com. Check out the website, check out the menu. Go with your friend, take that person you love for a great dinner. 305-662-6855, bigcheesemiami.com. All right. Oh, what do we have here? No Guardian cap, no QB sneaks. Tough. Guardian cap doesn't really protect. Yeah, it's not about the Guardian cap. It's about the human being not going to tackle somebody or not taking on contact. That has nothing to do with the Guardian cap. You people, again, you go into these tangents that have nothing to do with it. Nothing whatsoever. It has to do with him seeking contact. Okay? That's all. Quarterbacks like him don't seek contact. The smart ones stay away from it. He's not smart. That's it. It's pretty simple. It's simple how stupid he is. Saban warned us about this before the draft. Yes, he did, Jerp. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He warned us that the hero stuff was the stuff that hurts. Listen, man, to me, the only reason I would have stayed away from Tua was his injuries. I said it. You can go back and check the videos. I believe in the kid as a passer, but I said draft Tristan Wirfs. That's the guy that I wanted. Once they drafted Tua, I said, all right, this kid can play. It's not that he can't play, but health is an issue. And as we've learned, it's more about him putting himself in harm's way than anything else. Every quarterback is going to suffer some kind of injury. You're going to take hits. That's normal, dude. It happens to all the quarterbacks. But if you're going to go out of your way to go seek contact, then you're stupid. You're just stupid. I don't know how to phrase it. I'm not going to be nice about this. Well, he's not making proper decisions. No, he's being stupid. And I don't know if anybody, I know soft-ass Mike McDaniel's not going to tell him that. But somebody should. No, Shomar, Tua is not a football player. That's another wrong thing. Marino was not a football player. Peyton Manning's not a football player. Tom Brady's not a football player. If he had guys that can actually block, he would have to try and make a play with his legs. All these elite QBs had great O-lines. Tua doesn't. Wrong again. Okay? Tom Brady had a great offensive line. He's not making any plays with his legs. You don't need to make any plays with your legs. Run the goddamn ball with a running back. Block with the offensive line. That's it. Marino didn't go try to make anything. Neither did Peyton Manning. Tua is just like those guys. He's a stiff. He's a statue. He's a specialist. He's not a football player. Peyton Manning, there's nothing about him that was football player. Dan Marino, nothing about him that was football player. He was a specialist, a passer. He's like a kicker, like a punter, like a long snapper. That's all they do. They do one thing and one thing only. And that's all I want Marino doing. I don't want him running. I don't want him tackling anybody. I don't want him taking on tacklers. I don't want him doing anything like that. I don't want Peyton Manning. I don't want Tom Brady's stiff ass doing that. Nothing. And they understood it. And they lived a great life. Only you idiots are demanding him to run or do this or, oh, he's got to be like Josh Allen. No, he's not Josh Allen. And he's not Lamar Jackson. And he's not Cam Newton. And he's not Steve Young. And that's not who he is. And he never will be. And don't ask him to do that. Ask him to be like Marino. Pass the ball and shut the hell up and get out of the way. And if you throw an interception, walk to the sidelines, mother F everybody you want, but don't even bother looking at the interception. Blame yourself or the receiver that wrong the ran route or whatever. Walk off the field, go make up for it on the next drive. Don't need you seeking any contact. It's really simple, dude. You're not John Elway. Don't want you running around like John Elway. You don't have the wheels of Kyler Murray. The little water bug can run around and it's hard to catch him. Okay. He can buy himself some time that Tua could never do. I understand that one. You're stupid if you're asking Tua to become a playmaker in any way, shape, or form that isn't with his arm and eyes. That's it. That's what Marino did. That's what I want him to do. That's what Breeze did. That's what I want him to do. They're not athletes. They're not football players. So for Shomar out there, stop it already. Tom Brady wasn't a football player. He was a specialist, the greatest specialist in the history of mankind. But he was a specialist. Dan Marino, the greatest passer of all time. We don't even call him quarterback. We call him the greatest passer of all time because we knew that's all he can do is pass. That's it. He had the radar that very few had. He had the accuracy that, the elite have, and he had a rocket of an arm. Could he do anything else? No. Did you want him doing anything else? No. No. The second Marino popped out of the pocket, we were like this. Oh, Dan, dude, get down. Throw it away. Just so you know, that's how life was for us. It's just like there's short-term memory here or something. Like people, you create some fantasies now all of a sudden and all that. We were terrified if Marino was out in the open field. If he had to run, which had only happened a couple of times that he caught himself, we're like, oh my God, don't touch him. I'm dead serious. He's running around. He's got all these pads. He looks like RoboCop. And we're like, oh my God, no, sit down, Dan, stop. That's what we're not like, yeah, Dan, put your shoulder into him and bullshit, dude. We're losing our minds because we know what we want from Marino. Pass the ball, bro. That's it. You're the best. You're freaking amazing. You wow me every time you throw the ball. Just do it. Just do that one where you whiz it right by the corner and it goes right into Clayton's hands and he just continues. He was the best at that. I don't know how many times he whizzed the ball right by the ear of a DB. And the DB had no idea the ball was coming. Son of a bitch did that all the time. It was great. It was great. So that's all it is. That's all it is. $53 million for a specialist. That's how it goes, bro. That's how it goes. But the specialist is not your problem. It's your offensive line. It's your running game. It's your head coach. It's your receivers that drop passes all the time. It's the fact that it took him. Is this his fifth year? This is his fifth year, right? Okay. So okay. So show me how many years it took for them to add a tight end to his offense. Exactly. It took 5 years for them to give him a tight end. It's just, I can't help you, dude. Anyway. For you kids out there, Big O is speaking the truth about Marino in those days. Of course I am. Nobody wanted to see Marino running the ball. I mean, this is stuff that the problem is, a lot of you, either you're too young or you have short-term memory or something. You know? Marino took some wicked hits in the 80s and 90s, including being pancaked, blindsided by Bruce Smith, and never crumbled. Yeah, no, you're going to take hits in the pocket. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. You're going to take hits in the pocket. And Nico, I know he didn't crumble, but he crumbled with an Achilles without being touched. Right? Didn't that happen? Okay. So if this Tua's injuries are mostly all brought on by him seeking contact, you know what I'm saying? It's not really that he has gotten injured and he's missed because of a freak thing. That's been few and far between. He would have missed very few games if he's done it that way. But because he's been stupid, he has missed a whole bunch of games. So it's by choice that he's out. If he, like last year, did he miss any? Why? Because he used his head to think, not as a ramming block. So it's simple. Play the game the right way, and any quarterback pretty much can last a long time in the NFL if you play the right way. Now, if you can't play in the pocket like Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or those guys, well, you have to run. You have to take on contact. That's who you are, unfortunately. But the rest of the guys, if you're Garoppolo, if you're Matt Stafford, if you're Tua, if you're whatever, you're going to make a living from the pocket. So if you make a living from the pocket, just make quick decisions, dude. Don't hang on to the ball for 4 or 5 seconds, because then you're going to take hits like Ryan Tannehill used to take. And by the way, he was rock solid for a while, wasn't he? And then what happened? And then the injury started, because you can only take so many hits. You know what I'm saying? And that was brought on. Why? Because he would hold on to the ball and he didn't see anything coming. Tua can see it all coming. He has that vision that Tannehill doesn't have. So use it to your advantage, and he doesn't. So he brings it upon himself. Again, your comparisons, Nico, apples and oranges. But that's all right. You don't like Tua, so that's how you'll spin it. The press conference is now for Greer, I believe, right? I believe it's going on now. It's going to go on now. So somewhere 12:30 or whatever. We'll be back in the afternoon with what's it called, with David Furones, and we'll have a live one on that one. All right, we are out of here. What is it? Disagree big. The Achilles for Marino was after 10 years in the league, taking but my point is anybody can get injured, and he got injured non-contact. Okay, so it was non-contact. You know, what was it? 90? No, was it? Was he in the? Was it in? It was in the 90s, right? Was it like 94, something like that? So, but it was non-contact. Doesn't matter what it is. My point is anybody can get injured, and it was non-contact, and he was gone. So it could happen to anybody. With just in the pocket, it's dangerous. If you want to play stupid like Tua, then yeah, it becomes even more dangerous. 94, 93, 92, you guys can make up your mind here whenever you want. Let's see.
It was done on the final minute of the first half of the 1993 season. Marino was dropping back to pass. His right leg got caught in the turf, and then he was hit by defensive tackle James Jones, helped to the sideline, carted to the locker room.
There you go. And he lost it, and you lost the entire season there. Non-contact. So do I want Marino taking contact? No. And you never did. And that's kind of the idea. With these kind of quarterbacks, I don't want Brady with contact. I don't want Peyton Manning with contact. That's not who they are. And that's the way this dude needs to play, but he doesn't get it, unfortunately. All right, we're out of here. We thank Ira Winderman. We thank Manny Navaro. We thank Sean Stanley, as always. Appreciate all of you out there. We will see you later on this afternoon. We'll have the Crypto Bro Show, and we'll also do a recap of the Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel press conference this afternoon at 4 o'clock. David Furones and I will go live. We'll see you all later. Same time, same place, same bat channel.